is a Las Vegas race that has been announced for US Thanksgiving 2023. What do you think about that, Mr. American?
That's crazy. I did not know it was going to be scheduled for Thanksgiving, but honestly, that's just so American, so fitting. In Las Vegas, my biggest hope is that I know they've raced in Vegas previously, like years ago.
Right. Yeah.
I think I've seen it referred to as like a parking lot race.
Yeah.
But there's been some talks about them like going all out and like doing it like on or at least right next to the strip, which that's what I want. Like, let's do that. That would be so badass.
Yeah, I think everyone wants that. I think last time, I'm not exactly sure because it was years ago, but it was something like in a Caesar's Palace parking lot or something like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it wasn't great. Yeah, I don't know. I think everyone wants it to be on the strip. That would be amazing. I don't really know like the logistics, if how they can shut down the strip for an entire week, but
Hey, I think they know how many fans it's going to bring.
yeah. And like 3 races in the US, I don't think people outside of the US or North America necessarily realize how big the US is, because there's been some complaints online about like, oh, why do they get 3 races? Like, they're not even the biggest like F1 fan base. But like a majority of where the races are in Europe is so much closer. You can go to so many more races than you could just living in the US. So like, even though there's 3 races, they're still very, very far apart.
I definitely understand like the take of being like, it's unfair. They have 3 races, but like, I live in Georgia in the southeast part of my country. If I wanted to drive to the northwest part of my country, it would take me 3 or 4 days. Like if I drove straight and didn't stop 3 days, like it's massive. And I don't even live close to Austin. Like that's also the South, but that would be a 2-day trip. Like it's ridiculously massive. So I'm totally for it. Obviously, I mean, I'm biased as fuck, but I'm super excited for it. My only concern is that will there be too many races on the calendar? Because it already feels like it's pushing it a little bit.
Stefano Domenicali, the Formula One CEO, he has a quote saying there's interest for 30 races on the calendar. Not that they were going to do 30 races, but that there's interest. So like everyone kind of freaked out. Like, no way can they, like, that'd be ridiculous. But just that there's interest. But even if 23, 24, how many more can they go? Like there's so much travel. They need the weeks off. What do you think is like the perfect amount of races?
Just from a fan's perspective, I felt like 22 was the perfect number. 23 felt like, okay, we'll add 1 more on. That's fine. That's just more racing. But I feel like 24 is like pushing it, but it's doable. And I think anything past 24 is just unfair to the teams and to the engineers. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, 100%. And like,
I don't know.
In this situation they're in right now, like a guy like Vettel, if the races are even more packed, like they're just going to miss more races if like they need the breaks in between if something is to happen.